So hello everyone, it's your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we are going to get into some of my favorite current indie brand palettes. So I figured since I've been playing with a lot of these palettes recently that you want to see what's been going on as far as the stuff that's been going on my Instagram, because I've been doing a lot of indie eye looks there. Oh, shout out to the eye look I got on now. I use the, what is it, the ColourPop and Barbie palette to recreate this look I found on Instagram. I think her name is Laura Page or Lara Page Beauty. I'm pretty sure that's what her name was. I'll go grab my phone toward the end and try to remember to like say it, or try to remember to put it in the description box. But you will see pictures of this going up on Instagram. I did another look with the Liz McGuire palette too finally, because I finally got around to it. But like, these are some of the indie brands I've been enjoying, and some of the stuff you're gonna see on your Instagram coming soon, if it's not already up by the time this video goes up. Now a couple of them I wasn't sure if you all would consider them indie brands, so I guess I'll start with those, and then I'll get into the ones that I know for sure you'll consider as indie brands. So let's start off with Beautydealsbff. So the Beautydealsbff brand, I do consider this an indie brand. I don't know if you all do though, because it's by like a I guess a makeup house, if you will, that, or a makeup warehouse, if you will. But this is just the newest one I have, the new romance. My all-time favorite one, and I feel like you should already know, is the Book of Magic. Oh my god, that palette is amazing. That's the grungy lovers like dream palette for me, for my blues and my purples. But this one is really nice. I'm actually going to recreate a look with this when I get done with the video I'm shooting here now with you all. But it's just a nice little romantic palette. I want to do a really deep vampy look. I saw Morgan Turner do this look I really liked with the Odins Eye palette, but I haven't ordered the Odins Eye palette yet, so I'm going to try to recreate this one. Plus I don't plan on ordering the palette that she was using. It was like the one that's a book that has two palettes on each side. I just want to order the cat one. Funny thing, I actually don't like cats, but random side note. Anyway, that's one of the brands I've really been loving and been trying to use. Like, I want to use my Nikki Tutorials palette a little bit more, and I want to use my Book of Magic some more, even though you can't get it anymore. So sorry, but I love that palette. So the next one I have to talk about is Artist Couture. So I really love Artist Couture. I actually had a look on with this palette yesterday alongside another palette I'm going to show you. I guess I'll show it to you now. Well, no, I'll show it to you next. But yeah, I've been really loving this ethereal bloom palette. Y'all know these are my type of tones, and the fact that these pastels in here run deeper than they actually look in the pan, to me, is a benefit, because pastels don't necessarily work for people my skin tone that well. So the fact that this works very nicely on my skin tone definitely makes it a plus for me. I really like this palette, and I really like his brand as a whole. The only palette I didn't get along with was the Caliente one, but I feel like a lot of people didn't like that much, so you know. And I didn't know if he was considered indie or not because he's in Sephora. That's why I didn't put Melt in here, because I feel like they're still indie too, but it's like they're a giant indie as opposed to like a small indie, like I feel like a lot of these other brands are. Like Kaleidos. So I've been trying to use this Flower Punk palette a little bit more. I've done actually, I think, 4 looks with this palette now, since I did did 2 looks with it yesterday. So I used this alongside the Ethereal Blooms palette that I just showed you all to get like the mint colors out of here, to go with the mint colors in with Angel's palette. And then I did like a green and pink look. I want to recreate the look I saw my girl Dr. Asher her makeup do, so I'm thinking about like keeping it here for 1 more week so I can recreate that one, because she did a really nice look. I think it was her 3rd look in the review of this palette that I really liked, so I kind of want to recreate that. So I think I'm gonna leave it here for now. I was trying to do this video today so I can pack up all this stuff and take it back home. Another brand that I'm excited about that actually just came out with a palette, I was watching Karen's video on it, but then I was like, I need to film some videos myself, so then I decided to, you know, start filming this one. It is Nomad. So this is my favorite Nomad palette. The way Beauty feels about the Harajuku Japan palette is how I feel about this palette. Like, this is my Nomad palette right here. You see, they literally gave me a whole section of blue, and then I got little pops of green and purple in here. And I got for when I want to do a grungy look, and then on the off chance I do want to do a fiery look, I have this nice little row here. So like, to me, this is just the perfect palette. Like, look at it. Sorry, I'm trying to get where it doesn't glare. But yeah, this to me is like the perfect palette. I have my blues, I have my greens, I have my purples, I have a fiery row for I'm in the mood for warm tones, and then I have my smoky section. So this is a gorgeous palette. I'm gonna do some more looks with it as well, which is another reason I brought it over here because I actually have this one at home because I already have I already have two Nomad palettes here, the Harajuku palette and then the Orient Express. The Orient Express is the very first one I bought. Then when I bought this palette, I think they had Harajuku for 20% off or 25% off, so I ended up buying that too. But this has been my favorite one, and then I like the Orient, and the Harajuku is actually my least favorite. But again, pastels don't work for people my skin tone as a general rule. You have to put in a lot of work to make them work, and I just found pastels that work easier, like the Ethereal Bloom, so I don't use that one as much. But I do like the shimmers in that one quite a bit, so I'll probably start pairing those shimmers with my Ethereal Bloom palette, since those are pastels that work better for me, and then I can have some nice topper shimmer shades because I actually don't like the formula of Angel shimmers. Random side note. But yes, this palette is amazing. If you want a palette from Nomad, I would highly recommend that you get the Iceland Fire and Ice palette. This palette is gorgeous, and if you like the kind of tones that I like, it's perfect for you. The next brand I have to talk about is Odins Eye. So this is the Alva 2 palette. I am going to buy the cat one like I just talked about, but I don't have it yet, and I want to try to get myself familiar with their formula again, because you have to think, because I try so many palettes, like I have on ColourPop's Malibu Barbie palette right now. I don't get to use as many palettes as often as I would like to, so I want to introduce myself to their formula, so I figured I would try out this palette again, so that's why I have this sitting out for you. I do appreciate the fact they listen to us, so when they put pressed glitters in this palette, we were like, hell no, don't do that. Unlike ColourPop's ass, it took 400 years to finally realize we didn't want the pressed glitters. They decided to listen, and for the rest of their palettes, they have not put any more pressed glitters in it. So shout out to you, Odins Eye, just for being able to listen to your consumer. I don't want pressed glitter. I was mad when I found out this palette had pressed glitters in it, but you know, I haven't touched any of them. This pressed glitter right here looks like it's really nice. It looks orange on camera, but when I turned it my way, then it has a green shift to it, so it looks cool, but I don't think I'll ever use it just because I'm not a pressed glitter person. But I do like this brand a lot, and I'm hoping in the future when they come with more palettes that they're more towards my skin tone. I know the new one that they came out with before this collection, they just came out with the Norns. I felt like that one was really good for people my skin tone. And I remember Tina the Fancy Face talking about how she felt like their palettes don't necessarily work for people my skin tone too. But what I appreciate about this indie brand is when you criticize them, they actually try to fix the stuff. So when we told them no pressed glitters, they did. When Tina was talking about how she didn't feel like their palettes ran deep enough for people our skin tone, the next palette they came out with had shades that would work for people our skin tone. So I feel like they do a good job of listening to the consumer. Now, I don't expect every palette to be vampy, obviously, but I like the fact that they take into consideration what people actually have to say, because at the end of the day, we are paying you our money. Just because it's a cheaper price point, just because you're a popular brand, doesn't mean you should ignore what I have to say, because I got you to be a popular brand by buying your stuff, and I can easily just stop and buy from the millions of other brands that exist. So sometimes I feel like brands need to keep that in mind. Like, you should actually listen to the consumer since they're paying you. I'm just saying. Anyway, the next brand I have to talk about is the it's Belle Cosmetics palette. This is the Break the Rules palette. And I actually used this yesterday as well in one of my looks. I think I used this with the Alien Cosmetics palette and the Colored Rain palette, because I've been loving the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette. Do you all consider Colored Rain a indie brand? I mean, I do. So maybe I should bring that palette over here too. Okay, hold on. I'll bring it in a second. But yeah, this one I really be enjoying as like a topper palette, or like when I have a topper shades that I feel like I'm gonna give me the impact I want. I'll put like one of these shimmers underneath that isn't a topper, and then I'll just put the topper shade I was gonna use on top of it. I feel like this is a great accent palette. Plus, it gives you lots of sparkle and shimmer, and it's a great addition to my collection. So I can't wait to see what they come out with next as far as palette wise. I think they just came out with some like loose pigments, and I'm not really a big loose pigment person, so it's not necessarily for me. But I do like the formulation of those. I feel like their topper-ish shades give me like Pat McGrath vibes, and y'all know I don't take that lightly at all, but they definitely give me Pat McGrath vibes for the topper shades with the shimmer and all that. Not exact, but there's like they're good alternatives if you don't want to spend a lot of money, especially since that palette is only like I think 30 bucks, and then I think I got PR set which made like 40 or something like that. I don't remember, but let me go grab this one palette and I'll be right back. Okay, so the girl's name is Laura Beauty Sage. Right here, I hope you can see it. Is it gonna focus? Well, her name is Laura Beauty Sage on Instagram, and let me show you the look that I recreated. Okay, did I keep it? Let me see. So this is the look I recreated. So as you can see, put it on my face. I hope I did okay. I feel like I did okay. I didn't bring mine all the way to brow bone like she did, but as you can see, I did different colors too. Like I did blue and pink, she did blue and purple. But I thought it was really nice and unique look, and it looked like something weird that I would do in real life when I was bored playing with makeup. So I was like, sure, why not? Let's try it out. So that's where the inspiration for what's going on our eyes right now came from. But next, Colored Rain. I have been obsessed with using this palette quite frequently recently, just because, again, I've been playing with that Break the Rules palette a lot. And as you saw, it's all shimmer. Plus, I've been playing with the Mented Cosmetics palettes, as you'll see in this video a little bit later. So that's another reason I've been using this palette. So I've been reaching for this palette like quite a bit. And this palette is quite loved, especially because it gave me like a whole roll of purples and a whole roll of blues. That in and of itself was good enough for reason for me to buy this palette. Now this palette, I think, is $48, which I think is a pretty good deal considering all the colors you get, because it's literally just a colorful rainbow palette. And if you're a person who likes all matte, you don't have to worry about buying a lot of other colorful rainbow palettes. You can just buy whatever single shimmers you want and have a nice little gradient of palettes. If I didn't like do YouTube videos, this would be one of like the few rainbow palettes I had, because sometimes you don't want to buy singles, sometimes you want to have a rainbow palette with shimmers and mattes. But if you love having mattes and you don't mind having an accent shimmer palette like the Mented Cosmetics ones or the Break the Rules palette I just showed you all, I feel like this is a great addition to your collection. Now I don't know if they changed the formulation of this, because I bought this when it originally came out in palette form, not like the little quad that they had, the magnetic quad with the singles. I bought this in palette form like this. Since they have changed their formula, I don't know if the formula on that has changed as well. I know a lot of people didn't like the new formula and thought it was terrible, but you know. The next brand I have to talk about is a JD Glow Cosmetics. So majority is a JD Glow. The one in the middle is Gumby, and it's a Colored Rain shade, but we just talked about Colored Rain. They're getting rid of all their singles, and Gumby is one that I always wanted to have, so I finally broke down and bought it. But the shades in here are just gorgeous shifter shades. I think one is, I forgot the name of all the shades I have. I know this one is Watermark for sure. I don't remember the names of the rest of them though. I think one is Insane, and I forgot the name of the other ones. Let me see. Okay, yeah, this one is Insane. That one is Watermark. What are you? It almost dropped. This is Anomaly. And I think one is Good God or Oh My God or something. Oh yeah, this is Good God. So those are some of the ones I bought. I bought them based upon Lauren May Beauty's recommendation, because she's talking about how nice they were. I just got one of their newer ones and a couple of other ones as well. So this is their new shade Lemon Lime right here. These are two other ones from them. I'm trying to remember what the names of these are. This is Bora Bora. Of course, I have all the blue and green ones. Big surprise, right? And then this one is Prismatic. And then this is like a little Mented Cosmetics bundle that I had bought just because it was really pretty. It gave me Christmassy vibes, but it had really cool colors to it. So I decided to break down and buy it. I had wanted it, and then it went out of stock. And then when I bought the latest palette they just dropped, the Codaine palette that you all saw me use recently, then I went ahead and you know, what do you call it, bought the bundle as well. I wanted to buy like the tools and little magnets to stick on the back for you to switch out stuff, but they didn't have that set in stock. I'm hoping they restock it soon, because I want to get that. So I figured we'll just talk about Mented Cosmetics next, since I just showed you some Mented Cosmetics. I'll show you the other two palettes I have. I have all three, but I'm saving the Plain Jane palette to put in the giveaway for you all when I reach 500 here on YouTube. So when we get there, you will get your Plain Jane palette. One of you will. I'm thinking about splitting it into two parts for the giveaway, but we'll see how that goes. Let me show you. This is Ninhydrin. This was the one that sold me on buying it, because the Plain Jane was okay, but it's like it didn't have any mattes in it, and I still like to have mattes, even though I told you all I used the Colored Rain mattes palette. But I couldn't remember how that formula worked, because I had bought some singles from them a while ago, but I didn't use them that often because I'm more of a palette person. So when she started coming out with palettes, I was like, yes, please. This palette is amazing. This is a grungy dream palette for me, because I can just put the Natasha Denona, what is it, Safari palette with it, or the Colored Rain palette, or the Viseart Grande Pro 3 with it, and just make gorgeous looks. So this is definitely a staple in my collection, and I will probably be using more. I plan on doing more looks with it, which is why I'm leaving here in my grandmother's house. I prefer to take it home, but I know I'm going to do a lot of looks here over the weekend, so I need to have it with me. And then we have Codaine here. Show you what it looks like. This is what she looks like. And this is, again, another grungy color story. It's like, I love the owner's take on colors, because she always gives these gorgeous grungy tones, and then she always gives you like these dual chromes and multi-chromes and just gorgeous shimmery topper shades to give you lots of sparkle. So I'm obsessed with this brand right now, loving it. And I like the fact that she's starting to put mattes in, and that she gave the option for you to replace some of the shimmers with mattes if that's what you wanted. So shout out to her. These palettes are amazing, and I can't wait for the next one to launch, because I am thirsty for a good eyeshadow palette at all times. So I only have 4 more brands to talk about. I'm going to save one for last. But the next brand I figured we could talk about is Terra Moons. I love Terra Moons Cosmetics. They have so many extreme, what is it, multi-chromes or dual chromes that they have on their website, and I want to grab like all of them, but I'm trying to stay cool, because y'all know I just want all the blue and green ones, like, and the purple ones. Like, I don't even look at any of the other colors. I just look at those and I'm like, yes, give it to me, give me all. But I'm gonna try to be good and not buy like all the palettes, you know, or should I say all the single eyeshadows, because I got the book of shadows by Colored Rain that I want to fill up, but at the same time it's like I barely reach for them ever, because you all didn't see me like Single Shadow Sunday on my Instagram. But I think it was because I was doing what I'm doing now, which is my YouTube setup and talking a lot. It's like I feel like I should just do it the way I do my little short Instagram videos, and maybe you all will be into it more, and I can just post those on Sunday again, so I have a reason to use my singles. So I'm thinking I'm going to revamp it, and if I do, then obviously I will buy those, because it will be a great addition. And then I can use more of my Norvina Pro Pigment palettes. I want to get the 5th one just because y'all know I love blues, greens, and purples, and it's all purple palette. But I'm stopping myself because I'm like, I'm going to have to wait till it goes on sale or something. I just can't spend $60 for it. I'm going to have to wait till like Black Friday and get it then, because it's not like I don't have a whole bunch to choose from. We're sitting up here talking about all the good indie makeup now. But yes, this is their El Barrio palette. I would be interested to see them make more palettes, because they actually have really nice mattes. But again, I never knew how nice their mattes were, because I never would buy the mattes. I would just be obsessed with the dual chromes and multi-chromes and all that, like I was just talking about. And I have like $100 some worth of them in my cart right now. I'm like, I need to calm down. But this is what it looks like. I love the color story of this, because it gives you a little bit of warm toneness, but also gives you cool toneness with my blues and my greens. And then like when I want to do a fiery look, again, like I always like palettes to give me options for both, because on the off chance I do want to do a fiery look and I'm like, oh, maybe I should put this red and this orange and it's like yellow together, like, you know, they have it in there. And I think I did a fiery look with this, and then I did a more cool tone bluish green gold look with it, and they actually liked my picture on Instagram, which I was like, whoa. But yeah, I really like this palette. I really like the formula of their stuff, and I definitely want to get some more of it. It's just a question of like, you know, if y'all are actually watching to see it, because like at the end of the day, since I do have to buy all the stuff myself, I want to give you stuff you actually want to see. And I'm like always wondering, like, well, do you actually want to see that, or should I like just put my money into something else that I feel like you'll actually care about? Because I feel like y'all care about like bigger brands and not necessarily indie brands when it comes to me, and that's why I don't really like dabble in them too much. I mean, I'll dabble in them for myself, but I mean, like, I don't really make too much content on them, because, you know, like, you notice you've never seen any of these Shady Glow shadows on my, I don't know what that was about, but okay, you've never seen any of these Shady Glow shadows on my channel, because I feel like y'all don't really care about stuff like that. Anyway, the next one I have is Alien Cosmetics. Y'all know I've been obsessing with this palette. I think I've done like 2 or 3 looks with this palette at this point. It's just a gorgeous palette, and I had to have it in my collection. So shout out to my girl Dr. Ash and her makeup, because she's the reason I ended up buying this palette to begin with. Like, because I didn't know that the brand existed, but then we did the tag 5 brands I never thought I'd be checking for, and I found out about this brand, and I was like, wait, what? And then I had seen her do a video with, what is it, the Serendipity palette, or I think it's called Poison Apple. So I went ahead and bought that one along with this one, because this was the one I truly wanted, but the Serendipity Poison Apple looks cool too, so I was like, I'll just go ahead and get both. So I ended up getting this one and that one, and I was just like, yes. And I was most excited about this one, as you can see, because this is the one I have done the most looks with. I'm pretty sure I've done about 3 looks with this palette now. I think I did one for Instagram, I did one here on YouTube, and then I posted the I haven't posted the 3rd look on Instagram yet. But I love this palette. I love this brand. I've ordered their Don't Be Jelly multi-chrome palette already, which is another reason I didn't end up buying the ones I was gonna buy from what's that brand, from Terra Moons, because it's like I had just bought that one and I was like, I can't buy all the Mocha Chromes, and since that one was in a palette form, I like it a little bit better. Okay, 2 brands left. I swear, we're almost done. I have the Menagerie Flight Club palette. The funny thing is, when I first tried Menagerie, I wasn't really that big a fan. Like, I tried the Feral palette and I didn't really like the palette so much. I said it was okay, but I wasn't like obsessed with it, and I didn't tell anybody to like go out and buy it. It was more heavily weighted than this one is, and I wasn't as in love with the color story. I mean, it looked nice, but I just wasn't obsessed. And then I saw them come with all these other palettes, and I was like, oh, those are okay, those look all right. But then when I saw this one, I was like, yes, I need it now. And I feel like we know why I need it now, because look at all these gorgeous purples in here. Like, how can you not love this palette? Like, one of my favorite shades in this palette, I'm trying to find it. It's like a blue, it turns from, oh, it's this one right here. This Megabat, oh my god, I had this all over the lid in like the Revlon video. Somebody told me how they really liked my eye look. I'm like, yeah, I really like the duochromed and purple tones that they put in this palette. Like, this is my Menagerie palette. If I told you about any Menagerie palette, it would definitely be this one. I do want to try the Whale Song one though, because they do have a blue-green palette, and we all know like blue-green is my thing. So when the next Makeup Corner palette comes back in stock, I plan on buying the Whale Song as well. And then my shade from my Violet Ink palette, the Mimic shade, it broke on me, so it's like I'm gonna have to buy that shade again. So I need to make sure I put that in my cart and get it when all the stuff comes back. But it's supposed to come back this month, and we're close to the end of this month, so I'm hoping it's toward the end of the month, so that way I can grab all the stuff I need and go. But yeah, I'm here for this palette. I'm all about it, and I definitely think you should try it out, or just try out the brand in general, because they do have some really nice singles as well. Like, I have some singles from them. I don't know where I put them though, but they're like these really nice dual chroming shimmery shades, and I think they're only like $6 or $8, so that's definitely a steal. The last one I have to talk about is Shroud Cosmetics. So remember I told y'all I ordered this in October. I think it showed up like the beginning of this month, or it might have been the end of May, beginning of June. But I have done a couple of looks with this palette. Like, there's a video coming up, I think you'll see after this one, where I used a good amount of shades in this, and then I did 2 different eyes with this, and then wore it to work just to see how the product would wear. But Beautydealsbff did a great job with the color story. I love the color story. I love like the theme of it. I just love the aesthetic. So I really like Shroud in general. Like, I have the Arcania palette, and then I have all 3 of the palettes they came out with. The Creepy Cute, I forgot what the one is in between. I always forget it, because I think it's Divinity. That's the one that's my least favorite one. Beauty Beans is my favorite one. Then I like the Arcania, then like Creepy Cute, and then the Divinity one would be last. But they're discontinued the Divinity one from what I remember. But yeah, this is a great palette if you got your hands on it. I don't know how the pre-order thing is going anymore, because they told me, because I'm talking about they told me. I remember seeing on Instagram that they were talking about like they had closed down the pre-order because they had so many to catch up on. Now I don't know if they're gonna reopen it now that they've gotten all the pre-orders out, because my pre-order was close to like the tail end of like when they did the pre-orders. So I don't know what's going on with that, so I can't tell you, unfortunately. But you should go check out Shroud Cosmetics Instagram page, and then you'll know more. Or maybe Beautydealsbff will have some information on her Instagram page, since at the end of the day it is her collab. But yeah, those are all the indie brands I've been currently loving and being obsessed with. Do you own any of the palettes from any of these brands I talked about? Are you interested in owning any of the palettes from any of these brands? Let me know down below. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Okay, bye. Be blessed.